Girish Agarwal, promoter, director at Dainik Bhaskar newspaper group, joins us. DB Corp declared numbers. Just want to quickly flag some of those numbers out. Revenue largely flat. EBITDA was down 3% Margin declined around 80 bips or thereabouts on a year-on-year basis. From 28.4 came down to 27.6. Ad revenue 1% lower. Circulation revenue also 1% lower. So muted sort of quarter, 5% lower on PAT. But let's hear it, directly from the management. Mr. Agarwal, your assessment of how the quarter has gone by and what the key highlights are.
Quarter has gone pretty good, because if I take the last year base of election out of this quarter, if you remember last year we had election in MP, Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan in our markets. So because of that, the number was much bigger. So if I take that out, I think this quarter has done pretty good. In terms of, if I remove that, I think we are at almost mid-single digit growth. And if you look at 9 months number, we have done the highest ever top line and bottom line in the history of the company. So I think going is good, but at the same time, my concern is about the overall India scenario, because if we are at 6.4% growth, then I think that is going to impact us and impacting us even going forward.
Certainly, 1,500 crore in terms of top line March 2021. We're currently sitting at 2,400 crore. In 2 years from now or a year from now, what can we expect in terms of growth?
If you make sure that the government of India delivers 7% GDP growth, then whatever number you ask me, I'll deliver that also. Don't worry on that.
Okay, fair point. Okay, Mr. Agarwal, okay, talk to us about how different products have done and how advertising is doing at this point. Are there challenges in the revenue stream?
If you look at my automobile, real estate, jewelry, FMCG, all these segments are doing pretty good. They are showing good growth. As I told you, if I take the election of the government revenue out, then I'm at a mid-single digit growth already there. And also on top of it, the newsprint prices have come down. If you see a 9-month number, there's a 10% decline in the newsprint prices. That's a big saving for us. And that is motivating us to invest more in the newspaper business, because we now can do a lot of things for our readers, which we were holding back earlier because of the cost pressure. So I think going forward, to me, it looks pretty decent.
And what about margins, sir? You've come off the lows of recent years, sub 20. Now you're above the 25% mark. How do you see that shape up?
Please understand, from 28 to 27 or 29 doesn't move a needle much.
Absolutely. Can you hold that, is what I was alluding to, if possible.
The overall growth comes in, I should be able to, go back again to 30% plus margin.
Fair. Okay, and that will largely depend on the growth in the economy, the underlying growth is what you are.
Please understand, who are my advertisers? Automobile, real estate, education, health sector, FMCG, jewelry. So if these guys are growing, which means the overall sector is growing, overall country is growing. If they are growing, they will advertise more to make sure that they sell more. But if they are not selling, the overall country is muted, then I'm sure that you will understand the advertising is the first thing people stop.
Girish, good afternoon, Neeraj, and since we are in the same line of business, right, I understand that. But my question is, because your investors would want to know, sadly, we can't guarantee what the growth will be, right? I don't think the government can either. So my question is, pending that clarity coming in, for the foreseeable future, do you reckon growth will be a bit of a question mark for your business?
Mid single digit growth, high single digit growth is not a big problem. But if we are talking about 10% plus growth, then I think overall the whole environment has to support it.
Okay, fair call. Okay, that's clarity enough. Okay, Harsh, anything else? Perfect. This is great. I mean, we are out of time any which ways. But Girish, appreciate. Sorry. Were you making a point?
I'm just waiting for you to say something.
No. I was just. I get the point you're making and can understand on the advertising costs as well, or the advertising business. So perfectly understand. Thank you so much for taking the time out and giving us this succinct piece of information. Really appreciate it.